Hey there, happy Friday! Thought I'd shock you a little bit, but I'm listening to Fugazi, Brendan's song #1. Phenomenal. Fugazi is one of the most intense bands that I ever saw. You may know this, the guitarist and one of the singers, Ian MacKaye, used to play Minor Threat. That's who Fugazi is, okay? But you know how I rock and you know how I roll, and I need my remote. Gonna wait till we get that wonderful 10, and we're pretty dang close. So I think that's kind of cool. So we'll play you some more Fugazi in a little bit. All right. So give you something nice here to kind of open my day, open my my start of the week. It's Friday. A lot of different things. I just have so many topics and stuff to talk about. USSSA Worlds is around the corner, and you know, to my opinion, playing seniors over 10 years. USSSA still has a lot of work, at least in California, man, to get their things straight and together. And it's almost to a point, like a lot of people, and if you pay close attention, it's almost like you feel targeted in a sense. You know what I mean? And those of you that don't know any better or don't follow along or really listen to what's going on, then you guys don't have no idea about the targeting or the injustices that are occurring, because then you guys are just thinking, oh, it's this and that. But, you know, if you go on the JBI show, he's going to tackle it a little more than I am tonight. I got too much stuff to talk about. But I do have something I want you to check out while we get ourselves a little started. And I see we're at 2 and 5, but we're going to let it rock a little longer than that, all right? So check her out here. Hey, paying a little tribute to my man, Dave, out there in Texas, seeing your bad reviews. Thank you for this. I've had him for a while, and I don't support him. I'm here with Mr. Austin and Mr. Lasaka. We're going to be swinging some new... Johnny P! Bags. Myself and Mr. Lasaka will be swinging the new Father Time, which is the Brent Fair... Well, I'm not sure. I know it's Gabe Courtney and Brent Fair's model. I'm going to be swinging a 26.5. So, if you guys don't know yet, I have... a YouTube page. Go over there, subscribe it, go like it, go help the Chihuahuas, because like Facebook, I have an opportunity to go professional, but it isn't worth my time or a W-2 form. But obviously, anytime I get donation or anything, I throw it back into the show just to add things to my show, okay? But as I said, we got USSSA coming next week, and it's so crazy how you have like directors that don't know what's going on, and they don't even try to communicate with other directors in regards to what are they doing. You know, in California, awesome. We're trying to get ourselves a senior program, but why go into it to a dark? If you're USSSA, we've been around for years, correct? So in regards to that, why not reach out and ask what other people are doing, so you're doing things correctly and having a lot more consistency? Because at the beginning of the year, when I was talking to some of our directors here in regards to what Texas is doing, how to get, I mean, like I said, here this year for USSSA Worlds, not once did we see a net come out at any of our tournaments, let alone it was asked or told. And the thing to me is that, why is it such a secret? You have teams from California, they're going to be going over to Texas, and I was telling them every major team uses the net. So guys are not used to using the net. People make a deal like, oh, it's no big deal. We'll see if it's not a big deal. We'll see if scores are up, scores are down. But you know what? There is a big deal. And if there isn't a big deal, then let's wait till the tournament's over. But let's watch this a little bit more. Man, I could go for days. Swinging a 25.5, and I also have Big Strong Austin here. He's going to be swinging a 27.5 icebreaker, which is not getting moved so much. Some of you guys haven't found that bat, but that is a great bat if you like that half-ounce load and the way it swings. That one has about 100, 150 swings. These, we're getting these suckers right out of the wrapper because we want you to see what we're getting. And we're just swinging traditional senior softball bat, softball. All right. So we're going to be mixing them up. While we're here, let's just get rocking and let's get partying. That's what I say. But I'm going to bust me a little bit of Fugazi. So I was pretty excited. I mean, this is an all-time record that I really love. And I actually went out and spent a little money to get it on vinyl, because the first time I heard this, it was on vinyl. I don't even know what's going on here. Okay. I got a little... I don't like that. That's bothering me. Maybe something reflected. Probably this one. Hold on a second. No, that's a good spot. All right. So, you see it? Right there. See where my peepers are? I don't know. Well, maybe I gotta go back this way. Is that better? No. All right. What's up, Mickey? That's right, DT Cali. We'll see you next week. I'll be there, and we'll be in Texas Wednesday night. The California boys will be there Wednesday night. We're bringing a slew of them. But you know, it's kind of hard and stuff because, you know, kind of going with directors, what these guys secretly do, like, you know, we're trying to add a guy that's been playing major, never bumped or anything, and now all of a sudden we're told that he can't go because he's major plus, and we're like, why and how? He's played on your team, that's the director, another director's team, but he's major plus, but the directors, they play what? They play major. So when we're trying to get a player from their team, now they're trying to tell us he's major plus. I don't get it. That's just weird. And the point I'm trying to say, like, when we had our 40 prestige team, there was guys in NorCal we would ask, come play with us and offer a starting position, but they didn't want to play. So to me, when you're trying to rank players, hey, America, you should, like, take in consideration the major plus sponsors. You know, like Tom Formosa had a big say, you know, guys being ranked BEA or whatever. Rightfully so, because he supported the upper program, the B's and upper forever. So rightfully so, I totally get that, okay? But what I'm trying, that's going to start bugging me. You guys see how, like, right up down the middle, it's just super shiny? It's my OCD. Well, whatever. Let me see here. Yeah. So basically, like, somebody, it's like when you get highlighted or something, or you start playing on a team, then people start targeting you. But no, they're not my guys and stuff, so they're okay not to be major plus. I mean, if a guy who has major plus talent isn't playing major plus, a TD director, rightfully so, I agree with you. You should be able to rank a guy major plus. But you shouldn't be ranking a guy major plus a week before the Worlds. You follow what I'm saying? We're trying to go there, legal beagle, by what the things constitute. From my experiences of going to Texas to go play Worlds. And then you're coming here and trying to make a team in California to support you, AAA Northern California, and they're starting to do funky stuff. And they try to say, we don't know the players. Who's kissing whose teeth? Like, I remember one time when I was trying to get reclass and I went above to go to a national office where they granted the reclass. And then what happens? My NorCal director says, I should be able to make decisions. You should be able to back me up. Well, here's my point to you. When you veto our roster, then who's telling you what to do? After you were okay. After all of our players played major. All of the players played major and have a history of major. And that is exactly all they got. And then you got your major plus chips with myself, JBI, and I believe another guy from Fat Boy. So that's 3. And now they're trying to say this and that, all kinds of insane stuff. I don't know. Another thing, Northern California, which you don't got it right, and everywhere else does it. If you are 55 major plus, you are considered a 50 major, and you SSA. People get confused. Like, one person hears it, and this is what's so crazy. Why do you guys pay money for to have managers or people to run your teams when they don't know crap? I know more shit than a lot of people, but I'm always the one not, like, here's a good example I do want to share with you, okay? November 1st is the cutoff for the 2024 season, but not for you SSA or AWS, okay? The reason why November 1st is the start of the 2024 season is because SSUSA has a Winter World 2024 season in November. It counts as a 2024 event. So people who run your teams who don't pay attention think, oh, it's like that in all the divisions. November 1st is when 39-year-olds can play. That's not correct because it doesn't make sense. Why is a guy going to be allowed at 39 years old to go to the 2023 Worlds? AWS or SSA. You follow me? SSUSA Worlds are done. Their season's done in September. They start their new season once again November 1st because The second week in November, they have the Cactus Classic, whatever. But they have a Winter World Ring, like our conference event. The first event's in November. So everybody instantly thinks, oh, November 1st. It's like thinking about AWS. I told people, why are you trying to sneak a guy who's 39? Oh, November 1st is when the season starts. Not in AWS, because the world event isn't until December. Last year, USSSA Worlds was in November. So how does that work? It's like you have a guy who can't play USSSA for the whole year, but then he's allowed. I mean, think about it, the Challenge Cup, okay? Is a guy who turns 39. Wait, can a guy go to the Challenge Cup for the 2023 season if he just barely turned 39 in December? No, he can't. So why are we allowing these guys to go to Worlds or AWS Worlds? Okay, their season doesn't start until then. So I need to share that with you guys because it's crazy. I was having a conversation with somebody trying to put a team together, and he goes, no, Yukin's allowed. I go, he's not allowed. November 1st is only for senior softball, the slow pitch, you know, the creme de la creme, these guys. So there, you got some information. Okay. Now, what's up, Matt McGee Punk Rock? So the next thing I want to share with you guys, is see, directors, there's no upper program, and the filtering the lower level is because you're catering to players, okay? If I'm like a guy who's a major plus caliber player, but I'm playing major and you see me playing 2-3 times a month, you bumping me isn't going to say I quit playing softball and I'm going to go play golf. I got 11 bats, I got bat bags, I got the whole 9 yards, but I'm going to quit because you bumped me. No, the guys who are going to see, you need to have educated, you need these people to talk to people that have a sense. You know, I got a master's degree, I got a high IQ. I want to help senior softball because my years are numbered at that level. It doesn't make sense why, tons of stuff are happening, Matt McGee, Punk Rocker. But, you know, what I want to do is to help. It's directors. I said the easiest thing, I mean, USSSA, you pay money to have a registered list, right? And then as players, we register. Every year, the easiest thing to do, and if we're paying $50 to register as a team, on that page, you should be counting all tourneys. Simple. The way you can plug in the scores, just go to the roster, put a star. Or when you show that tournament, put that they got an all tourney. Maybe if somebody has 3 all tourneys or something a year, if their team doesn't get bumped at Worlds, you bump them to Major Plus. Because guys are not going to want to give out all tourney rings if you make those. That's what you should do. Rather than we're having a Toys for Tots. And they're going to be giving rings. As long as you have 6 teams are giving rings. What you're paying for those rings, make all tourney rings so it's reasonable, so people want to collect them, and you could track these players that never try to go above and they like to bully and hide in the majors or in the AAA lows, okay? Because everybody filters down because they want to be an all-star or they want to do this or they want to do that. Directors, it's time. I hope you guys step up, okay? Because it doesn't make sense how, you know, like if a Major Plus team is asking a major guy, but a lot of these great players, they stay away from Major Plus because you directors, some will tell them, once you get on a Major Plus roster, you're going to be considered Major Plus. So there you go. That's how you hide these guys. And then they get picked up by these other teams with good sponsors, and then you tournament directors do special favors. I'm going to wait till this year's season's over, and then I'm going to display what I have with people asking for special favors. And when they don't get their favor, then it goes against your team, everything else. You don't believe me? Wait till I show you what I got on email. Okay? And you can bet me that it's going to go above. I'm going to take it above because
to announce our purchase of
I'm not some crazy, I'm not some psycho. I'm a very logical, I'm a very reasonable guy. And all I want is straight across the board. Whatever you do for their team, do it for our team. But that's not the case. And a lot of you guys that are doing softball recreational are the ones that are getting screwed. You guys are the ones that are getting boned because you don't know. Like this whole thing about, oh, this guy, when he was 25, he played on Sunnyvale Vault. Oh, at 55, he's instantly major plus. Well, what about all those yahoos and those cheapos that never tried to play higher than E? See, that's why it doesn't matter. Plus, if you got a guy playing E who's in good shape, going to 40s, he's instantly going to be at least a major player. You see where the thing is? You cannot rank your senior players by what they did in the old days. If you have a guy, say, 39, still playing conference, by all means, major plus. To me, and I think this is where Jay Zetz got to good in AWS by me conversating with Jay Zetz, to me, if you're on a C team or higher, it doesn't have to be conference, C team or higher, you're major plus. And guess what? Those C rank guys playing C USSSA right now have no problem being major plus players. That's the most simplistic way to rank incoming guys. If you have a guy who's playing E, still as a 40 player, to me, you rank them major. AAA should be guys, AAA should be for players that weren't good enough to play men's E on a regular basis. When I see true AAA guys, they're usually E players that weren't playing consistently. Like my cousins. I had cousins that played here and there, but they never got on tournament teams. They were never playing consistently. Those are your AAA players. But then when you had guys that played 4, 5, 6, 10 years of E, you know, stacking up, winning their worlds and stuff, oh yeah, I can go play AAA. And then you as a director not knowing that, that's pathetic. You should know who your E sandbaggers are. When they go to 40s, they should be, if you're a 40-year-old playing E, you should be 40 major. If you are a D guy, if you're over 40 and you're playing D-ball, you should have a major asterisk. That means you can't play AAA, buddy. Because a lot of the AAA guys, real AAA players, were guys that were just float or jumping on team for team. You know, the guys who wear the white pants with one pocket that says bike. Come on, directors, you know who the regular faces are, the regular guys that win and stuff. It's time that they got to go across the board. And that's what you do with the AAA. In senior softball, it should be major, major plus. AAA should be guys that maybe quit playing E-ball for 5 years. Like, it's amazing how guys, I haven't played softball in 5 years, but the last division you played was C. So you throw him as a major chip, can't play AAA, and then watch him. Because, you know, you true AAA players or you true major players or whatever, you are the guys that are getting more screwed than anybody else. Because you don't know the players, you don't pay attention. Hell, you've been out of the thing for 5 years, you know? But for me, I would love to help, not fight, not argue. Anytime I've made a team to go play in the last 5 years, I've never tried to stack. I've never gone crazy. I've always tried to follow whatever their matrix is. Like you, SSSA. Why is it such a secret? In the old days, you knew who was A, who was B, who was C. Now you don't know. Jay Zetz, AWS, at least he has a list. And from that list, you can make your teams. No ands, ifs, or buts. And Jay Zetz is always trying to be true across the board. So what I like that he's trying to do, what he does a lot is, what does he do? He, you know, he calls people, he asks umpires, sponsors and stuff. What do you think about this guy? To make his list a lot more equitable across the board. But the guys that don't pay close attention to stuff is a thing. Ferlani. Well, the thing is, who pays the directors? We pay the directors. When you AAA, you guys who don't pay attention to softball, don't know squirt, you are the guys that technically fund the programs, okay? You have this one team. I ain't going to play if Prestige is in that tournament. I mean, senior softball, why can't NorCal do it like Texas? This is what I don't get. You guys act like when I bring it up, like I make it up, okay? A 50 major plus guy is considered 40 major in USSSA, okay? A 40 major plus team gets to play 40 major if they want to. No ands, ifs, or quirks. And nobody in Texas, nobody in Arizona, no one bitches. But in NorCal, we have to cater. That already shows you there's connections there or favoritism. Put them together. 50 like to me, if I had a 50 major plus in NorCal, we should be allowed to play 40 major. I don't mind playing 50 majors and spotting runs or giving another filler, like Texas does it. Texas right now, like California. But why does Texas have more teams registered in senior softball than NorCal? You have a guy who's been playing in Texas the last 3 years who's been trying to share that information. I even bring it on my podcast, but do they want to listen? No. To me, they're not being receptive. I'm not making things up. I'm sharing how to better the program. If Texas can get 8 to 12 teams in a 40 event, allowing the Major Plus to play with the majors, why can't we do it? Like a team like Supreme Athletics. Why aren't you allowing Supreme Athletics to play 40 major and let them give up a fielder or 5 runs? Okay? Supreme, KGE, you guys are Major Plus like I was. If you're that good and you're playing Major Plus, then you shouldn't trip about giving 5 runs or another fielder. Don't get bitter, get better, okay? Yes, I understand winning every tournament, but you want to draw teams to play in your tournaments. And the way you're going to draw teams is 2 ways, USSSA. 50, if a 40 Major Plus plays a 40 Major, they get 5 runs or an extra fielder. Plus, start implementing a net. I think one thing I hear from some pitchers is they don't want to pitch to some of these guys. Or sometimes you get these Major Plus kind of, I call them weirdo, cheapos, whatever, like no class, who want to blow box and blow up the middle for whatever reason. You're not blowing up the middle. Get the freaking cage. Put the net out there and go show how good you are if you're a true guy who's pimping out there playing these major teams and smashing them around, right? USSSA NorCal, next year, bring out the net. Tell them fucking 40 Major Plus. They can play in your 40 major events. And if that one team cries, kick them out. Because what? You're going to get 2 or 3 Major Plus. So losing one team because they got to win the t-shirt every tournament to add 3 teams, why not? It's going to be better. You're going to get those events. Or what you do is one event, you just call it Major Plus and see, no, it doesn't work that way. Directors, I would love to sit there and talk to you and give my ideas a chance. I will guarantee they're going to work. Because I'm not some guy who just says, hey, this sounds good. I'm a factual guy. I'm a guy with tendencies. I'm a guy by experience. And when you go to Texas and even Matt McGee's tournaments, nobody has a problem. Even the 50 Major Plus teams will say, you know what, rather than play 50 majors, as a 50 Major Plus team, we're going to go play in the 40 event. If we play a 40 Major, we play straight softball. A 50 Major Plus gets an extra fielder or 5 runs playing a 40 Major Plus. And guess what? Those 40 Major Plus teams do not care. As our USA team from when I was 50s, my first event, we played in a 40 event. And in the championship game, we played front row. So you had half a front row, 50 team, which is USSSA. It was the USSSA, our USA team played front row. And front row gave us an extra fielder. They didn't complain. So if it works there, it should have no problem here. Even in Southern California, you guys should not have a problem with it. If you're that competitive team trying to get better, you guys should be wanting to do that. That's just me, okay? I'm going to highlight somebody because, age doesn't matter. It does matter in a sense, a small sense. But ideally, like I said, if you got somebody over 55, he should not be considered Major Plus trying to play on a 50 team. What I want to do is highlight a good buddy of mine who's been hitting with me, and his game has gone to another level, as have Joseph Prock by hitting those regular times. That's a big difference. If you want to get your game better or play with those guys, you got to work on your game. You got to hit regularly. You know what I mean? There's so much that goes into it, okay? And me getting, what I'm saying is like when I made this shirt, I knew it across. These are our new shirts for Texas. One of them next weekend. Okay. So here's someone else I want to show. And what bat he's going to be swinging. If you haven't swung it, I'll have maybe one in Texas or 2, depending on what bats I bring. But this bat is pretty good, and it's leaning where we're going to be. So Matt McGee, no one wants to split into a 3-team bracket up. Well, I agree. That's why, to me, you leave the Major Plus and the major teams together. I mean, I understand if it's a state event, a regional event, or whatever. I get that point. You know what I mean? But to me, why not make it a real event, make it a bigger tournament? Last weekend, I was telling Kyle, we're a 50 major team. Why don't you leave us with those 540 AAA like they do in Texas? So instead of us having 3 games, we got 8 teams in a bracket play. You know what I mean? You think the AAA teams are never going to play a game? They're the same people. Win or lose, they're showing up. You're not going to know until you give it a try, and I'll guarantee it's going to work. But like I said, yeah, straight bracket. I mean, it don't make sense. I mean, in certain events, I mean, if the conference can have a C team or a D team playing an A team, they're throwing $500, $450 to play a conference event. What makes you think a AAA team, a 40 AAA team is not going to put $300 to play a 50 major team? You know what I mean? That's my whole point. Or a 50, to me, a 40 major plus team should be allowed to play 40 major and group them together. I'll guarantee you that those real major teams, those guys that are playing senior softball cup tournaments, are going to still play in your events, spotting 5 runs, okay? Or the extra fielder. To me, ultimately take the extra fielder. We'll see. I may be out there for the men's Toys for Tots. I'm hoping. I really like that one, Taylor. Hey, good job. Watch you out there with the cheap suits. You had yourself a fine year, big shooter. So I'm going to highlight someone right now. And the thing I like about highlighting and stuff is that, you know, when it comes to our bats, right now we have literally the shortest and the lightest, what do you call it? Like roster. Like the other day when I went live swinging those bats, I want to clarify to people that don't know me on a personal level. I'm 5'8", and I'm 190 pounds, buddy. Okay, 190 pounds. And swinging our bats and seeing that kind of performance you're getting, I want you to have an idea of what you can possibly get. You know, I'm not 225 pounds. I'm not 6'4", 6'2", or 6'1". You know what I mean? I am 5'8" and 190 pounds. Sammy B is under 6 feet. And we used to do a thing when we were coming up and he was playing Sunnyvale and I was a Senko or Classic. We used to say hitting home runs for the little people, right? Thank you, JJ. But going back to what I'm saying, this next guy that I'm going to show who was swinging, we did a tube on YouTube. And remember, I got a YouTube channel. Go out there, subscribe, and like it so I can get fat pockets. We're swinging the new Gabe Courtney Father Time player bat and also another wonderful man by Brett Ferris. But these are the Father Time bats, and they're doing really good. So let me show you this guy who's swinging the L Father Time.
NFL Sunday Ticket on YouTube. Watch every
look at that.
Sunday
Do I get any money for their advertisements?
Live, exclusively on YouTube.
Skip ads. Oh, there you go. Check this guy out.
That's well struck right there.
That's a first. That's Chris Nasaka. Look at that. This field is 280 feet with a 20-foot fence. There's one. There's two. Look at that. That was a partial swing. Chris Nasaka, my man here.
That's out of here, too.
That's 3.
See that center field. That's about 305 shot. Some of you out there, senior softball land. If you remember the 1998 Sunnyvale Valve. Oh, that's well hit. Chris Asaka played second base for Sunnyvale Valve when they won the A Worlds in 1998. What's going on? He's getting a good little groove
Check
there.
this out.
That's another one out of here. Was that 4 in a row? Oh, sorry, 6.
Whoa! Did you hear my man Lasaka? I'd say, was that 4 in a row? He goes, 6. Whoa! If you didn't know Chris Lasaka, he was a 1998 Sunnyvale Vols second base champions who played with Andy Purcell. One of the best gloves I ever saw in Northern California and the softest hands. And he always brought a bat, you know. And this year, I was very happy because his 50 major team, he's 58 years old, and he won this year 50 major worlds, okay? Should he be ranked major plus? No, man, all right, here's a number. Next year, he should be able to play 50 major as a major chip. That's my opinion. You know, he had a great weekend. He was MVP for the May/Prestige team that won 50 major worlds. He had a weekend. There was times this year he was benched, he wasn't starting, whatever. But he put it together, and as a 58-year-old playing 50, he should be allowed to be major and not a major plus chip. That's my man, Chris Lasaka. But check him out again, swinging the Father Time and just cutting the ball very well, swinging a 25.5er.
Sunnyvale Valve when they won the A Worlds in 1998.
Here it comes. Is that 4 in a row?
It's going on. He's getting a good little groove there. That's another one out of here. Was that 4 in a row? Oh, sorry. 6. What? He hits him out, 2. Keep him going. Look at that. Keep going.
Chris Lasaka.
Oh. It's all right.
Get the top of it. So, yeah, like I said, in Texas, not sure myself. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to get the California bat trailer out there. There's some stuff happening. Unfortunately, our man, James Brandon, JB, you know, the wonderful, lovely guy that's always there at the trailer, isn't quite able to make it. Topics. What can we talk about? Well, first off, I'm going to tell you, going to Texas, and I probably shouldn't tell you this, but if you're looking to give your team the best opportunity out in Texas, you better load up on Dudley Advanced balls. To me, I wish USSSA would adopt this ball. Vic, last year in Southern California, this was a ball we used in all the senior events. And the reason why, this is the best ball, Dudley Advances, that you're going to be able to use out there in Texas. So if you're going to Worlds, make sure you're using these Thunder Advances. I would really, Kyle, now you're on there. You should be, to me, USSSA, use the ball you're going to use at Worlds, okay? This is a great ball right here, and it holds up in the weather better. Then the second best ball that you'll be able to use over there will be this, the Baden Fire Senior Ball. This is a great ball. I like this ball. The only downfall with this ball, if it gets as humid as Texas is known to be humid, then the nylon surface or whatever it's called gets kind of squishy, you know, because it gets the humidity makes it so you get more poof, and you're not getting the reaction. But the Dudley Advanced ball is a leather ball. It's better on our bats, but the sun isn't going to make it get soft because, you know, if you know anything about science and stuff, this is more like pudding. So when your bat reaches it, there's going to be like meniscus, you know, the meniscus between your femur and your tibia and your radius and your ulna. No, your tibia and fibia. Radius, yeah. So what you're getting is you're getting a squishiness. So when your ball is actually hitting this, when it's humid, to me, this ball doesn't get the same reaction as you would out of a Dudley Advance with the leather shell. So to me, if you're going to Texas Worlds, bring them or ask them these balls. Last week we played, I asked Kyle, and I tell our coach to do this stuff, and he acts like I'm being like a fruitcake. But, there's a difference mentality. When you're a guy who's won Worlds, who's been on competitive teams, and you've been to the point that you win, you want to put a coach is supposed to put your team in the best advantage to win, best position to win. Like playing in Texas, playing here, I started telling people, dude, that ball's mush, throw in a new ball. And every time we started throwing in a new ball, the offense went up. People, it's a ball. They think it's just me complaining. No, I'm a guy who's trying to put my teammates, my team in a better position. And I'm not even the freaking coach. Like the DHH, I used to tell him he should bat first or second. Think conference. The best hitters, the most prolific power hitters are batting first or second in the lineup, correct? So why not do it with the DHH? If you're a senior team going out to Texas, your DHH should bat first or second, not fourth, fifth, or sixth. Why? This is the rationale. Because you want that guy to be able to bat in the seventh inning if home runs are gone. If he's batting second, you're going to get to him quicker than batting fourth or fifth, right? You guys don't think that. Softball-wise, that's the next thing. Ball, good. Yes, Kyle. Ball always play a factor. Another discussion I've had with different directors, and I'm still going to tell them this. They say, these bats are getting hotter and stuff. We're going to have to change the ball. And I go, no, you don't have to change the ball. What you got to do is rank players correctly. You shouldn't have a guy in AAA being able to hit a ball 400 feet. Bottom line. Guy hits a ball 300 feet plus should not be in AAA. You're not getting guys hurt at the major plus level. If they're getting hurt, it's in AAA or major. Why? Because you directors are not keeping out these big old freaking Balboa Balbruisers out of the low lows. Get them out of there. That's what I'm saying. In AAA, 3 home runs. AAA should not be a guy going out there going, boom, I'm going to blow up the pitcher. Boom, I'm going to hit a laser. Boom, and so on and so forth. No way, senor. But you guys aren't just paying attention. What's up, Dave? The Thunderball is the best ball well, I'm not familiar with the Thunderball, Dave. So maybe, I don't know. At least out here in our area on the West Coast, the old rock that we used to use at the Vegas World Senior Softball every September, by far was my favorite ball with the leather. It held up and it carried well and hitting was fun. Secondly, I used to tell people the Thunder Advance was the next best substitute. Even that one, a goat moat ball, I remember was pretty good too. It was a nylon shell. But I always said that the Thunder Advance was the next best substitute when it came to the rock. So I'm just telling my people, you want to do well. I don't know if that ball that Dave Velasquez said is going to be good or allowed there. But to me, if you want to have your best opportunity out in Texas, get yourself the leather outcore ball of Thunder Advances. Okay? So I just showed you my man, Lasaka. So next thing I'm going to be going on to next. Remember, Kansas JBI show. He's probably going to go crazy talking about kind of what we just starting to go through, but we're going to make it work. You know, it's like I said, here's something that I didn't like. And this is, when you're running, to me, you should have a little brain behind this, okay? May Capital won 50 major in SSUSA. That doesn't mean they should be considered major plus now in USSSA. That's malarkey because you're playing the whole season. The season hasn't ran out. Like when our seed team played Seed Worlds in NSA and USSSA, it's the same idea. Let teams finish out their season. But the thing is, if you're going to bump up guys on May to major plus because they're getting bumped in senior softball, the SSUSA, then what you're going to have to do is go find every other 50 guy or 40 guy that's major plus in SSUSA and put them in major plus in your division. You have guys at AWS that are ranked major plus, ranked major in that division. SSUSA, they're ranked major, but they're ranked AAA. That doesn't compute well enough for me. So the thing is, if that's what you set up before going out there, then it should be good for everybody. It shouldn't change. That's what I'm saying. Special preferential treatment, or are you targeting certain people? Lay out the rules, and I always play by the rules. Whatever's considered out there to be the right way and the right thing to do, I'm going to do it, okay? I'm not going to manipulate. I'm not going to cheat your system. But in USSSA, it's so hard because they don't even know what's going on. You know what I mean? AWS NCS is the only area that has a list. So at least when you're making a team, you can go there. And then you could track players easily, or other people can. But it's very hard to do that. USSSA, it's a secret. Don't tell anybody, but it's a secret. Right, Witty? It's a secret. Hey, guys out there, doesn't that California hat look awesome with this jersey? Not cursive. I'm great at that. I designed these shirts, darn it. But that's the best ball. Next thing I want to move on. Real quick. At California Bats, we take pride in nice looking bats with graphics and how they come across. Okay? And there's a reason behind that. Okay? Looking at our bats. Other bats, not just ours. You know, there's mine. Or look at the old Dudleys. Look how that Dudley just stands out and there's just a good look. You know what I mean? Here you go. You know what I mean? I always love bats when they have that good. I love how this, enough said, look, black, Johnny Blaze logo. You know, how many of you there think, and I always felt, when you're walking to the dish and stuff with your swag, you want that bat to look mean and vicious or look good if you have some fashion. And that's what we try to do. And that's what I always tell people. Sometimes people, I think they stay away from some bat. And I'm not trying to bag on you, but this one isn't the most nice looking bat. You know what I mean? You got cartoon graphics right here. Oh, yeah. And I get it. First time for Long Ball Billy Hudson. I get it. And the next couple bats started getting better on the graphics. But that's the thing. You want that bat to look good in your hands, you know? That's what I say. Oops. That's what I always felt. Next, I want to go on. I was so stoked to buy this record. SOD. And the thing is, it says speak English or die, but it's a joke. It isn't like they're racist or anything. It's an album based on a character, like writing a movie and stuff. It got a little sway, and the titles are pretty funny. You know, you have March of the SOD, Milano Wash, Fist Banging Mania, Premenstrual Princess Blues, Anti-Procrastinating Song, Diamonds and Rust, A Ballad of Jimi Hendrix. But this was made by basically the guitarist and the original Anthrax bassist. First off, flaming riffs, man. This is one of the best crossover albums known to man. This SOD album is phenomenal. So I had to share it. Well, there's a lot. You know, you have PTS going out there who's major plus, but they're going to play major. But I'll give you guys a shout out. So I hope you guys do well. You guys will do well. But, you know, PTS is going out there. Prestige is going out there. I think Cheap Suits is going out there. Vicious Cycles. There's about 6 teams going out there to Texas, you know. But, you know, the sad thing about it is I was hoping PTS would have went to Vegas SSUSA Worlds. Why did you guys not allow to go to SSUSA Worlds? Or why did you guys not go to SSUSA Worlds? But they're jocking us at 50 major. A lot of love. It'd be nice to see my California guys out there. But you got to stay hidden, buddy. All right? So next thing going on to talk about softballs, the net. You know, if you got a net, take the net. Those of you from California, if you're going out there, maybe reach out, maybe ask the director. You know, some people's rationale, well, you take away the double play. Well, okay. How many double plays realistically, on average, how many double plays do you get a game? Maybe 1, maybe 2, maybe that. You're going to Worlds. I think the caliber of the teams are a little bit better than doing it locally. See, everyone's mentality is playing all the local cheapos, especially when you're sandbagging, right? You're not thinking nationally. The fence, how many balls go up the middle, guys miss it? First off, if you're using the net, you're going to get guys that change their swings with 2 strikes. You know, it doesn't mean you go like that with the 5-man. You still should play it normal. But now you're just getting out of, you know, there's no one going to be thinking about getting a ball by the pitcher, right? So you almost got 6 infielders. So you're forcing guys to hit it up in the air with 2 strikes, correct? I mean, to me, that's where you get your coaches. You guys got to figure out what's going to put your team in the best position to win. And that's where you got to figure it out. Next thing, it's amazing, dude. Like, how often do you go on YouTube, like on these Facebook sites and stuff? And what do people say? Hey, I want a price check on, let's say, here you go. I got a good bat. Two good bats. Price check. Price check. Like, people, when they put these kind of bats on YouTube, on these Facebook pages, price check, because they're 10 years old or 12 years old or whatever, they almost act like they found the Holy Grail or something. Like, price check. Like, I bought this bat for $60, and I was trying to get another one. I told a guy, hey, man, I'll give you $50. You're crazy. Dude, just because the bat's old don't mean anything. You got to know the history. When this bat was able to be used, nobody swung this bat, period. So now you think, oh, it's old, it's crazy. People are going to want to swing it. First, it's a 220 bat, so you can't use it. It's pretty much a paperweight, you know, but it's crazy. And I tell people, look at the bats I have. Look at this laser vision bat. You know, you can't use this anymore. It's a BP bat, the way I look at it. You know, look at this bat. Remember this guy? You know, or this guy. I was on a DeMarini sponsored team once. You know what I mean? They're not worth $500 because they're old bats. It's crazy how people think, oh, my bat's old. It's worth $1 million. Like, even his senior bats. Oh, how much can I get for this? That bat's garbage, dude. Just because it's old doesn't mean it's good. Like, especially old Eastons and stuff, old bats. And I tell people, it's a 220 bat. It's illegal. Like, ASA bats. I like buying some ASA bats, and I don't have them here, but I use them for BP as well. First off, if you're watching out there and stuff, 2 bats that I'm looking to get rid of if you're interested. I got this Dudley in the wrapper, brand new, sticky the whole 9 yards. And I got this 240 Fireflex, which I think is one of the best 240 bats that came out. This first Fireflex in the wrapper, 26 ounce. Okay. Dudley in the wrapper. All right. So it's amazing how people think, oh, my bat's old, so instantly it's worth all this money. You're cutting. Yeah, PST. That isn't even the original PST, DT. The original one had a longer barrel. There was a powder shell and another one. That was the modification because what happened with ASA, those bats were deemed a little too hot. And that was crazy. Remember those PSTs? That bat went for $399, but it had a 2-year warranty. But these were the modified ASA bats right here. So what they did to modify them is that they made the shell smaller because the original PST shells were 13 inches, I want to say. And then what they did is in this end, they put a little rod. And I can actually show you a modified ASA bat. How many remember the supercel? Look at the modification. So they modified it, and I'm trying to sell this bat, or I would actually like someone to fix it. But if you look at it right there, can you see that? See, you had to mail these bats in to ASA to fix them. And then they put new caps on. So you see how it says ASA? So it's not like a shit, but this is how they modified the bat. A lot of those old bats is that they put a hole in here, and then this is what they would put as a rod here, so it wouldn't have as much flex, and the bat wasn't as much hotter. What's up, Johnny Boke? But like I said, there it is. If anybody has the tools, which I know people have the tools because that's how they shape bats, the tools. So maybe I'm thinking about going in here and somehow I really want to fix this bat so I can have it for aluminum bat things. But it's a modified ASA bat. And as I said, I tell people when I try to, like I was trying to sell it and they're like tripping out. I go, look, just look at the end knob. It says ASA. That means they modified it, but they didn't do a good job. So look, see? Bad modification. Let me see. Where we at on time? Oh, yeah, I got big boy things to do. So next thing I do want to go. How many of you were able to see that last interview that I did with Danielle Smith? Eakins. Love that girl. She's such a softball mind. She knows the game, loves the game. But it's just so interesting because, one thing I want to touch up, and I tell many people this, and I trip out on my own coach. I go like this. I go, are you keeping the book for the other team? No. Why would you not keep book for the other team? All the time. Like, you act like you're going to know what to do when it comes to Worlds. Every game you should be practicing doing a good book, and you should be communicating to your fielders or your pitchers, or what if you're trying to make a decision? Should we walk the guy or not walk the guy? And I've done this before, and it almost seems like I have to do it again. Like, anytime a guy, like if you have, okay. So this is kind of like what it looks like in the batter's box. Every time that guy gets a hit, wherever he's hitting the ball, you should do that. If it's a ground ball, put like lines. If it's a fly ball, straight line. If it's a pop-up, you do that. But, after looking at 3 or 4 at-bat boxes, there's going to be a tendency. And this is what I'm like a human book. But Danny was talking about that, how she was talking about how we were talking about, like, a book is information. When you got to discuss, like, guy goes out, who want to pitch him or not? If you don't got a book and know what the guy's been doing all, tournament or whatever, then your talk is losing information. And then who's the most smartest guy there? Communicate. But ultimately, somebody should have a good thing. You know what I mean? Like, to me, there's a lot of times, I get a little frustrated, but I tell people, work with me or work as a team. If that's a big thing, but it's not everybody's in tune to that. And I get it. That's like the sixth sense, as we talked with Danny. But when it comes within the book, not everybody has that kind of memory, like that sixth sense that I got. So when I play with guys, they're kind of in the dark, and that's okay. I understand that because there's other things they enlighten me about. So you complement each other, right? But when you're talking about those things together, and etc. It makes your team better. It's not about talent. I always have those discussions, and especially BP. I go, watch what I'm telling you, man. If you're just playing the game straight up and not putting no intellectual or some depth in there, then you're not paying attention to winning a game. You know, if you got outfielders that play the fence to their back, when I play left field, I play about 280. Unless it's a guy I know hits really good rods, like line drives, because if there's anything I hate, like when I get burned in left field, it's usually a ball hitting on the top part of the fence, not the warning track or the lower part, okay? So I play 280. So I take away those pop taters, some of those line drives and stuff. And those are things people don't pay attention. Like, pay attention to your infielders. How many 5 to 3, 6 to 3, 6 to 4s? How many F7s are we getting? All those little things in the books, people don't pay attention. On the defensive side, I know I'm a playmaker. I know, let's say, like the last time I was in Texas, I hit just under 650. I started a little slow, but I hit just under 650, but I was a playmaker. That's a big difference because when you're looking around on other teams and you have the Texas Leaguers or another topic that I'm going to talk into, how baseball fundamentals, mechanics transpire into softball. Like when your outfielder's staying back, expecting your shortstop to catch the ball when you rightfully know if the left fielder was going hard or the center fielder was going hard in, they would catch the ball. But you don't see that, okay? Or your left fielder, center fielder catching balls in the gap on the road opposed to people getting gap. How often you got to see, is your left fielder, your guy, if your outfielders are getting gapped, pay attention. How are they positioning themselves? The little things are huge. And, you know, I'm at the age that I'm going to stick away from those negative people. I'm going to get with the group next year of guys that want to do brain talk softball. And I'm already finding that group. And I feel very confident with that group that we're going to play together and we're going to beat you guys. Okay? Because there's so many times when I'm just sitting there talking to my other coaches and this and that, and I'm having these arguments and discussions. Like I've had arguments with guys about softballs. Like they act like it doesn't matter. It does matter. Or keeping a book for the other team like it doesn't matter. I go, it does matter. Or a guy who's jogging out of the box and decides to run. Oh, he wouldn't make it. I go, yeah, because he was jogging. No, he was going hard. Is that hard? Those are the things coaches need to do. You need to break the game down. If your team is losing big games, like this past year, 40 majors, Dan Romero, the 56-year-old wonder, led JK pitching. He pitched every game but one. The game he didn't pitch is the only game JK lost. They rode the 58-year-old horse. Why? Because he's kissing the 10 to 12-foot McGillicuddy. He's pitching behind the rubber. Those are you think they were worried about what Dan Romero hit? Hell no. When he's getting teams out, when he's getting pop-ups, and when he's getting a lot of misses, you're going to ride that pony. That's what times a lot of people, coaches, they're not thinking about, do I have to go to a 4-man? How's my outfield playing it? Are they playing straight up? Are they not rotating? Are they doing traditional, the 5-man's on this side, so as a center fielder, I'm going to be on that side. Well, if you had a book and kind of get an idea of a guy, 90% of the time you can have, like I used to tell guys, you can have 20 dudes on this side. They're still going to pull the ball. That's how you pitch to your defense. If you know a guy's a pull hitter, you give him his pinch and you play his strengths. You know what I mean? This is the wildest thing. That's going to another side or the sixth sense. But you know what? I want to thank you all for coming on. I'm looking forward to being in Texas on Wednesday. I may do a show next Tuesday. I have a big interview that I got to get going of another woman, and this is a Hall of Famer. I'm hoping to get Jason Branch. I had talked to Jason Branch earlier on different times. It was tough to get together, but I do want to get another woman on here, and I want to start getting more interviews. You tell me who you want me to talk to, who you want me to interview, Another topic I do want to talk about is why doesn't California have a Hall of Fame in USSSA? Huh? Why is there no Hall of Fame? Texas has one. I don't know. Maybe that'll get some of these sandbagging cheapos out of here. Like, in order to make the Hall of Fame, maybe you have had to play B-ball or higher. I mean, I don't think a novice player, an E player, a D player should be making the Hall of Fame. I don't know, but maybe if a C player was playing the NIT circuit in his day, you know what I mean? I don't know, but that's just me. But before I go, we're gonna bust one on for you and enjoy your wonderful Friday, buddy. It's 8:00 and it's time. Jesus Christ. Message me. I may bring some stuff to Texas to sell, only if you guys really want it. How you doing, Roy? Hope everything's good. Matt McGee's from Texas. He runs AWS NCS. He's very similar to Jason Torres. He is a great thing for AWS/NCS. Softball, runs the best tournaments in Texas. And his 40 major plus has no problem playing the 40 majors. His 40 majors have no problem playing a 50 major plus. That's why Matt McGee is punk rock. What's up, Cam? I'm just rocking out.